I want to talk to you about what mercy is not. I think in some ways we have, because we love the concept of divine mercy, sometimes forgotten that it's not always a passive thing. And it's not about peace at any price. And it's not about forgiveness when that forgiveness will hurt the innocent. What do I mean by that? We look back to the gospel recently that we heard, and it's about Jesus in the temple. And Jesus goes in, and it seems so out of character. He is furious that his house of prayer, his Father's house, is being commercialized, turned into a business, and he loses his temper. He is filled with righteous anger, righteous indignation, turning over tables, driving people who probably made their living that way out of the temple. And we look at that and wonder, wait a second, my God is a God of love and mercy. But we sometimes take out the spine of Christ in the name of mercy. And we act as if because of mercy, you can't have conviction. Because of mercy, you can't stand for principle that is unchanging. Because of mercy, I have to forgive and forget and get by everything, even when it is a violation of what is good and holy and kind. A couple of examples come to mind. Excuse me. I know that he's never going to be as warm and fuzzy as Cardinal Dolan, who's the most lovable man in the world. But Cardinal Egan was in many, many ways a great man. And his passing is to be something we mourn, because he really was an amazingly good, solid man. I have to tell you a story. When I was running the family ministry office of my diocese, I came in one time to a testimony he offered at the city council. And the city council had decided that kids can't be good. What we need to do for all the kids in grammar school, high school, and middle school is give them tons of condoms and give them free access to birth control, because they can't not have sex. So we might as well cooperate with them and at least give them the means to prevent pregnancy, so-called. I mention that because he was the head of education at that point for the Archdiocese of New York. He was an auxiliary bishop. And he got up and he told them what was wrong with their thinking, and how we were called on to tell our kids there is a choice they can make for the good. That you don't have to make our kids some kind of animal who are incapable of saying, I know sex is a beautiful gift meant to be shared in the right time and the right place with the right person. I will choose to be chaste instead. He said, you are selling our kids down the river. Handing out condoms and pills is not the answer. Teaching them the difference between right and wrong is the answer. And one of the city councilmen said, well, we know what our program is called. It's called birth control. What is the name of your program? And Cardinal Egan said, it's called Western civilization. He said, we have a 2,000-year history of telling people that life is about choices. And I am angry, he said, that we have taken away the possibility that our kids can choose rightly. I had never heard him speak with anger. It was great to hear. He had a backbone, he had conviction. A merciful man, to be sure, but a man who knew that mercy should not make us blind to the need to say the truth. Another example comes to mind. 2008 election. Remember all the fuss they made over the single vote that Hillary Clinton made where she supported going into Iraq for the war? And of course, the fact that she did that may have cost her the nomination. Barack Obama kept hounding her. You say, well, can one vote matter that much? Well, let me give you another vote. It was one I spoke about a lot back in 2008. As a state senator in Illinois, there was a bill that Barack Obama had to vote on. And the bill said, believe it or not every abortion ends in an abortion. Sometimes the baby miraculously gets out alive. I mean, thousands every year, even in late-term abortion. The abortionist does a bad job, and the baby slips out alive, badly damaged, but alive. And the bill before the state senate was, if that baby gets out of its mother, a doctor is obligated to do everything he can to save it because it's been born. Do you know that that was almost unanimously endorsed, except for one vote? Barack Obama said, the intention was the baby should die, let it die. Now I'm telling you something, I can't say that I can allow all the other nice things he represents to overcome the fact that on a life issue of incredible importance, the baby is already born. To end that baby's life or allow it to die is a form of infanticide. That's not a vote I can ignore. So what I'm saying is I was outraged by that vote, and I said throughout the whole 2008 election, you can't not look at what people stand for. that what they do matters. If we found out a candidate running for president supported segregation, was anti-Semitic, supported child abuse, who of us could say, well, it's just one issue, I'll overlook it? In the same way, the righteous anger we should all feel for that vote is something that is not the opposite of divine mercy, because the mercy must be meted out for that child who has a right to be born. We are called on to be merciful, but we are called on to be just. We are called on to be true. We are called on to be faithful.